Live.
Right, we are live. Hey, everybody, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. This is episode 169. Actually, this is kind of crazy seeing it like crank up. I understand we're not close, but we're getting close to episode 200, which is pretty awesome. So, anyways, I like it, but I'm glad everyone's here today. And we got almost all of the team here. I think Chris is out and about. He's had kind of a shaky internet connection. So let's just go through real quick, say hi, give some updates, and then we'll get into it. So, Hernan, how's it going? How's summertime for you?
Hey guys, it's really good. It's really warm today, but I'm inside with the AC, so I cannot complain. One of the perks of working with you guys. So, anyways, I'm really excited for this episode, for this mastermind, for this Hangout. So, really good to be here.
Sounds good. All right, Marco, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. We don't need air conditioning or heating in Costa Rica. My electric bill is like $40 a month.
Well, how about for some more good news? Because I mean, it's snowing right now. But in terms of more good news from you, how did we do with the charity drive? I know that wrapped up last week. Were we able to get what we needed for everybody?
We wrapped it up on Friday. The people who follow us, our membership, everyone, the total came to 8,200 plus.
Nice.
But the total that we sent to the charity was 10K, because I told everyone that I would make up whatever was left, and so I did. But we'll be starting a new drive soon, so that maybe for school year 2019 we can send them 15.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be maybe we'll set it at 20. Let's go hide. Go. You all right? Go big or go home.
Yeah, we can aim high, and regardless, we're going to do some good stuff. So just from us, Marco, thank you for getting that stuff. You really did set that up and get it going. And obviously, you donated yourself. And thank you to everyone who donated. It's a big help when we, did something pretty cool there, sending a lot of kids, I should say, to school and getting them supplies they need. So I know that's a pretty big thing to them.
The really cool thing is that they're going to be tracking some of the kids. So we're going to get monthly updates on how the kids are doing, the kids that we're helping. So that's going to be posted on the subdomain, the subs for kids with dashes, .semanticmastery.com. We're going to be posting monthly updates on the kids and how they're doing. We'll get specific details on a certain child each month during the year, which I think is really fabulous, so that people can actually see for themselves the money that they donated, where it's going, and what it's doing. And I think that's really cool. It's one of the things that I arranged with the people we donated the money to. It's going to be really good seeing how these kids progress.
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, Bradley, speaking of cold weather, how are you doing?
All right, man. Yeah, I got stupid cold again here, which is dumb, but I guess it's that time of year. But yeah, I'm good, man.
I know you've been busy because it's cold, so there's nothing else to do. So that means you're working. So what have you been up to?
A lot. On the marketing front, forgive me for being kind of crude here, but I'm balls deep in the mastermind training, all the new training. I started heavy on it this week with the AdWords, the PPC campaign, because that's module 1 is PPC. And so I'm going through, like, we did 2 webinars already, but the first one was really just a high level overview. And the last webinar we did last week for Mastermind was to kind of like lay out what the plan was going to be for at least the first campaign, which is the CrossFit gym. And so today alone, well, over the last 2 days, I've added like 10 new videos to the training for Mastermind members, specifically about PPC. And guys, this is like, what's really cool about this, and this is exactly how I wanted this to go, was when we developed this new like training curriculum, it's essentially we're going to be basically producing an entire internet marketing product, every single module, right? So like this is a whole, like basically local kingpin is what I did when I created an AdWords training product about maybe close to 2 years ago, year and a half ago, whatever. But a lot has changed in AdWords since, at least the interface has. The principles are all still the same. So I'm going through and I'm re-recording like basically all of Local Kingpin all over again, but it's under the mastermind now. And so guys, those of you that are in the mastermind, if you haven't gone and checked it out yet in the dashboard, you should go check it out, because it's going to be a full-on training course that'll be in there for PPC stuff. And we're just getting started. So basically every single module will be a whole another training course, starting with PPC. Next module goes to video marketing, which includes video SEO and video PPC. And then we're going to get into local SEO, like maps ranking, essentially. And then from there, we're going to content marketing. And so we've just got so many things coming up, guys. I would highly encourage you to come join the mastermind if you haven't yet, because for $300 or $297 a month, you're basically going to be getting step-by-step training for all the different things that I do to launch businesses, which obviously the emphasis is on local, which includes PPC and video SEO and local SEO, maps SEO, content marketing, outsourcing a lot of the work for the agency stuff, prospecting and sales. So there's so much stuff that goes into that, but we're also going to be doing direct mail, local outreach stuff. Like, for example, one of the things I'm going to be doing for the CrossFit gym is reaching out to local high schools and talking to their athletic departments and offering to do coach-free training classes and stuff like that. So there's just all this stuff that we're kind of combining to grow these two businesses, which is what we as digital marketers, guys, as consultants, especially when we're dealing with local businesses and providing marketing advice to them, that's what we need to be able to do, is help them to grow their bottom line. It doesn't have to just be digital marketing. Does that make sense? And I know Hernan and Marco are always preaching about how we shouldn't be talking about SEO and rankings. We should be talking about producing results. And as a marketing consultant, that's what our job is to do in any way that we can help. You know what I mean? And so that's basically what we're doing. Let me, I know I didn't mean for this intro to go so long, but I just want to show this screen briefly to tease you guys a little bit, to show you what's going on in here. So, this is our mastermind. By the way, we have a Q&A mastermind webinar today, immediately following Hump Day Hangouts for an hour, guys. Those of you in the mastermind, just come to the live webinar page here, and this is where the Q&A will be. But let me just show you the content. If we go down here, this is module 1 for PPC, starting the new training. And you can see all the training that's in here already. We had the first 2 webinars, and now we've got, I've added these in just the last 2 days. So basically 9 lessons going through entire setup, how to set up a tag manager, Google Analytics, the AdWords campaigns, ad groups, keywords, ads, all of that, landing pages. So again, guys, I would highly recommend, if you're serious about growing and building a business, whether it's a local business or an online business, either way, national, local, it doesn't matter. Join the mastermind, because this is going to be really, really intense training for the next year. So
awesome. And if you're completely new to Semantic Mastery and you're just joining Hump Day Hangouts, the good news is we're going to start answering your questions, and you might also not know about the mastermind. That's a great place to find out more. I just put the link on there. But if you truly are new, then welcome, and come to the Hump Day Hangouts, ask your questions. Really good place to start is the Battleplan. We got a coupon. I'll put that on the page in a second, so you can save a bundle on that. If you don't yet, you can go to searchspace.com and get your free account there. There's some tools there that you can use, and that's where we have all our done-for-you services, RYS, stacks, syndication networks, all sorts of stuff. And then also we want to let you know about the knowledge base, because it comes up occasionally. We don't want to seem like we're being mean, but we may point you in the direction of support.semanticmastery.com, and that's got a lot of frequently asked questions where Bradley does his famous drawings and diagrams. And some of the more involved answers where it takes a lot of time to answer, but it's a frequent question. So we want you to be able to find that at any time. And then, like Bradley mentioned, if you're ready to join the mastermind and you want to build a business, see how a business is built, get your business built, and learn, more about SEO, digital marketing, conversion optimization, whatever it is, then, the mastermind is there and definitely waiting for you. So anything else, you guys?
That's it for me.
All right, let's
that's also it for me. Sorry. If you guys haven't signed up for the webinar that we are having tomorrow, and you want to find out more about why we're doing this and the background behind the Hangouts, and also have a deeper understanding of the mastermind and how's that working, I don't know if we have a link that we can drop Adam on the comments, but that's going to be a pretty cool webinar too.
Sure. Yeah, we've got 2, because I think there's 2 different things kind of going on tomorrow that we know that there's people who are interested, like Hernan said, on this webinar, a little bit more about semantic mastery, how to grow, some opportunities there. And then also we're going to have a webinar with Bradley and Roman tomorrow, talking more and more of us. But I think those two are going to be the ringleaders of that webinar and talking about the SEO ranking packages that we've just started to offer in SearchSpace. Okay, and this is a really, 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 really powerful service that's kind of undiscovered as of yet. And so we wanted to tell people more about it. We've been getting some questions and wanted to start answering that and kind of show you, hey, this is how you can use it. And when we say ranking solution, you know, we mean it. And we want to show you why that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be, if anybody that's doing SEO work for clients, well, for yourself too, but for clients too, this is a great way because it's something that you can just resell as SEO, like an SEO ranking packages, and it's hands off. I mean, it truly is hands off, which is absolutely crazy. So if you're selling SEO services, you know, to clients, then I would highly recommend you check that webinar out because it could really seriously reduce your workload. I mean, think about it, guys. If you could go out and just focus on selling because you had basically the work done, the SEO work done, what, you know, how quickly could you grow your business, you know? So consider that and consider joining the webinar tomorrow to check it out. So, all right, guys, we're going to get into questions if everyone else is cool with it.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, sweet. Let's see. Good day, and thanks for this opportunity to ask questions. Yes, of course, we certainly enjoy it. So now that YouTube is removed, the place where you can localize our videos with longitude and latitude, how would you suggest we localize our videos? Easy. Put NAP in the description. Drop the link to the Google My Business map, the share URL, Google My Maps URL if you've got it. Any sort of you know, citation links. I typically just, guys, just let you know in every single video description, if it involves a local business or a lead gen site or whatever, right? I add NAP, the web address. Well, so NAP is name, address, phone number, in case some of you aren't aware of that. So NAP, the web address, the Google Maps share URL, the Yelp page, and the Facebook page. Those are the ones that I always put in regardless, no matter what. And then if I have a stack for it, a drive stack, I'll put the My Maps link in there. Potentially the GSite link if I've got one of those. But usually, like I said, the top 5 that I always put: NAP, web address, Google Maps share URL, Yelp, and Facebook. Those are the ones that I put in there because all of those will validate the location. And you can always put latitude and longitude in the video description if you want. That's fine. It's up to you. I personally don't, just because it's just an extra step. I don't know how much of a benefit that would give you. But you know, just putting name, address, phone number in there and the links out to, you know, verifying properties is all that's really required. So good question, though.
I still have access to the old YouTube, and I'm not giving that up until they take it.
Oh, they'll take it. It's just a matter of time.
I know, but I still have access, thank God.
Yep. Scott's up. He says, can you elaborate further on how the custom video lead gen system can be used to acquire PPC clients? I'm trying to acquire clients who are already using AdWords, and the biggest challenge has been getting them to open the videos. I'm following the old training Bradley made with the question about services in city format emails. Is there a better email style to use? Thanks, Scott. No, I mean, if you're having your trouble getting them to open the videos or getting them to open the emails. So like the question just above yours, Scott, is from Muhammad, and he's been doing a lot of video email stuff recently, and he's saying he's having trouble people getting people to click the video to watch it, but not so much open it, right? They opened it, but they didn't have time to watch it or whatever. So my point is, you know, are you having trouble getting them open or getting them to watch the video? Now, one of the things I've found helps with getting them to click the video is if you're using a still screenshot as the like embedded video, kind of. It's not really an embedded video, but it kind of looks like it if you do it correctly. Is to have something that, you know, one of their properties in the web page, right? Or excuse me, in the screenshot, the still image. If it's a GIF, then you can put, which I recommend that you do because it's a lot more attention grabbing. It's kind of a gimmick, guys. There's no doubt, but it works. It works. I got a higher percentage rate of people clicking through the video when using a GIF. And the trick with a GIF is to add, you know, have the GIF to where it's not just like where if it's a boring screenshot, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're just looking at like a page like this and that's the extent of the GIF, then there's not really going to be much motion. So you want there to be something that kind of stands out. So like I'll superimpose text onto it or something like that sometimes, or I'll just have it, you know, where I'm clicking from one property to another one of their properties. So like and again, these are just GIFs that I pull right out of the analysis video or the audit video that I create, right? So like with the, you know, go to gifs.com, that's what I'm using. I got a paid account over there, so it removes the watermark, but you go to gifs.com and you add you can either upload the video file or just drop the video URL from YouTube there, and it will import it into the application. And then you can just select, you know, an 8 or 10 or 12 second or whatever segment from the video to create the GIF. And so what I do is just find a section in the video where I'm switching from one of their properties to another, and I'll use that in the GIF so that they're seeing their properties in their own email, right? In the email that they receive from me. And then they see the action of it shifting from one property to another. And that just piques curiosity, right? Who is this person sending me a video showing my digital assets? What is this about, right? And so the idea is to try to entice them to click. I've experimented with some text overlays too, but that's a little bit more gimmicky. You know, like as far as that's more salesy. So I tend not to do that. I try to make it just more look like it's just more of an educational type video where I'm trying to relay some valuable information to them about their digital assets. And that's really what the audit is all about, right? So when you're asking about how to get AdWords clients, now, those are just some tricks I gave you, or tips to try to get the video to be clicked. That's assuming that you're getting the videos or the emails opened, right? If you're using tracking, you should be able to track all of this, opens, clicks, everything. Okay. Also, guys, remember, we're going to have the Q&A webinar. Well, we're having a bonus webinar, which is going to include several things, including Q&A for the video lead gen system, coming up in a couple of weeks. I think it's in 2 weeks from today, actually. So just keep that in mind, guys. A lot of these questions can be answered there. We'll go a lot more in depth with that kind of stuff. But as far as AdWords, specifically for AdWords clients, guys, it doesn't matter what service you're selling. It doesn't matter. AdWords, Maps SEO, video SEO, content marketing, web design. I don't care what service you sell. Okay, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is be able to provide valuable information that and can, you know, portray yourself as an expert when you do. And how do you do that? How do you portray yourself as an expert? You offer valuable, useful information that can help them, you know, something that they can. I like to try to include something that they can do right away that can improve their digital presence in the audit video. And then I ask them for a response, a reply to my email, a contact, right? I ask them, call me, text me, email me, just reply to me, respond to this. And that's it. So you just, if you keep your audit video that way, so in your case with AdWords, you know, you could look at their campaigns and analyze, and guys, remember, you want to keep these rather short, these videos. Try to keep them under 10 minutes. I know I have difficulty doing that sometimes, but try to keep them under 10 minutes. But take a look at their AdWords stuff and maybe explain how you feel that you could do better, or that how they're missing potential opportunities, something like that. And like I typically do, I try not to criticize what I'm auditing. I try to find stuff to complement that I'm auditing at the same, but then explain how it could be made to work better or improved upon. Does that make sense? Because you don't want to criticize, because then you put people on the defensive. Some people have an emotional connection with their digital properties. And so when you criticize them, it's like you're criticizing them, right? And so don't do that. What I recommend doing is say, hey, you know, this looks pretty good. You're doing it, you know, these are good keywords in this ad looks like it's written fairly well, blah, blah, blah. However, I feel like maybe it could be improved upon if you were to do this, right? So again, guys, it doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter what service it is, as long as you can portray, you know, provide value and portray the fact that you know something about what you're talking about, and then just ask for the contact. That's it in a nutshell, right? Good question though, Scott. I appreciate that question. Hopefully you can make it to the webinar if you hadn't purchased it. I recommend that you do the updated training, because we're going to be going through a lot. Even one of the gold mines places that you can find a lot of you guys that are doing SEO and video SEO stuff. I've got a great source of leads, just a great source of leads, and we're going to be covering that step by step in the webinar. Mohammed's up. Mohammed said, hey guys, I'm having a persistent problem with my video emails. For a lot of emails, someone clicks the link and I phone them a few minutes later and tell them I'm having problems with my email, and I make sure they received it. Okay. Then they say they opened it, but they didn't have time to watch it. So I wait, but nothing happens. I tried sending a follow-up email the next day, but that doesn't amount to much usually. How can I keep up the dialogue? Do I just call again the next day? Yeah, you can, Mohammed. It sounds like you're being pretty aggressive, and that's how you do it. There's really nothing else I can say about it. For a lot of the industries that I've worked in, I've always had a really good response. Not all. I mean, it's not everybody opens the emails, clicks, but the vast majority do, especially when you use. And Mohammed, I know you asked a similar question in the mastermind, and I replied to you about using a GIF. And at the time, you said when this was last week, I think you said you had not been using GIFs; you were just using still images. So I would recommend that you try that. Let's see. They say they opened it. Then they say that they opened it, but they didn't have time to watch it. Okay. Yeah. So if, that's all you can do is if they're opening the emails, but they're not clicking, is if you try to make that, that's why I said a GIF works better than a still image, because it will entice them to click. And remember, a lot of the times these people are busy. That's part of the reason why I like the video email system better than cold calling, right? Because if you send them a video email, if they open it, but they're not able to because it's not convenient for them to watch, a 5 or 10 minute video at the time, it's there for them to watch at a later date. It may be that you have to remind them that it's there by sending it to them again in a couple of days, right? So if you follow up with a phone call after they've opened the email or whatever, and they say, oh, well, I didn't have time to watch it, ask them, would you mind if I followed up with you in a couple of days? And then the very next day, send it to them again. You know what I mean? Like, the point is you've got the dialogue going there, especially if you got them on the phone and they said that they haven't had time to watch it. Well, you've still had a chance to at least get the dialogue going. And if you're persistent, it may work. You're going to piss some people off, there's no doubt. But some people are going to be mad no matter what you do, right? So what you're trying to do is avoid those people, and that, like, you want to qualify people. And if you call somebody and, don't chase people too much is what I'm saying, guys, because that reeks of desperation. So my point is, like, if you call them and they say, well, I didn't have time to watch it, and ask them, would you mind if I followed up with you in a couple of days? I think it's important. You're going to get a lot out of this. I'm not trying to pitch you on anything. I wanted to offer you some value, provide you some insight about your digital presence. Check it out when you have time. I'll follow up with you in a couple of days. Don't even ask them. Just tell them, I'll follow up with you in a couple of days. Then the following day, send it to them again. And if they don't open or they don't click and you have to call them again and they say, I still didn't have time, cut them off your list, man. Just delete them from your contact list, because they're obviously going to be somebody that's going to be a pain in the ass to work with, because they can't even take 5 minutes to try to listen to something that you're. And again, guys, remember, you got to step into their shoes for just a moment. Think about how many times people get pitched offers all the time. I mean, if you're a business owner, you probably get pitched often too. And so it's only natural for them to put up their defenses. But if you're coming at them with trying to provide genuine value, which is what I recommend. What is your intent, right? If you come with pure intentions, then, don't chase them too much, because there's plenty of other people out there that will actually appreciate that, right? So that's my point is, don't chase people too much. Yes, definitely follow up. You don't want to give up on the first try, because some people need a little nudging. But after a couple of attempts, if, and again, with you coming at them like, hey, I just wanted to send you some information about how you can improve your digital presence. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm just looking for a conversation. Can you check out the video? It's under, say it's 6 minutes long or whatever it may be. If they're too damn busy to watch a 6-minute video after 2 or 3 attempts, guys, then cut them off your list and move on. Don't waste any more time. Okay. That's why, by the way, I mentioned, guys, keep those videos really short, because you don't want to spend a shit ton of time. I've made the mistake of making 15 and 20-minute videos that never get watched, right? And you spend all this time analyzing and creating reports and all this stuff for people that aren't ever even going to reply to you or respond, right? And so, again, that's why I tell you to keep them short. Try to just provide value very, very quickly up front. Ask for a contact back. Say, look, I'm not trying to, I just want to have a conversation. See if we may be a good fit for each other. I always like to use that. Right? I always like to use that. I want to see if we may be, because I don't want them to think I'm chasing them. I just want to have a conversation to find out if we may be a good fit for each other. Right?
Real quick too, Bradley, you touched on this, but I put this into the mastermind newsletter. I think it goes in December maybe. But the contact points, you definitely do want to follow up. I know a lot of people do this, but if you're not following up, automate this if you can, because obviously you don't want to waste your time on people who aren't going to respond. But most people will just contact once, and then if you don't follow up, you're odds of getting responses is really low. And, you know, hitting them 2 or 3 times and getting that out there is going to dramatically raise your response rate.
Yep. Yeah, and if you got a VA, I mean, that's something you can do. Like when you're doing this kind of a method, guys, because it's so targeted, you could, you know, it could be manual. You can automate some of that stuff, you know, using autoresponders and all that. But if you're just getting started, you could just do it manually, and then even a VA could do it, right? Just like have a VA go check replies and messages and stuff like that. And if somebody hasn't replied, you know, after 2 or 3 days, you send them another email, a follow-up email, right? And it could be like canned text that you send out, like templated emails. So you don't even have to do it yourself, Mohammed. Right? Nigel's up. What's up, Nigel? He's been coming and asking lots of questions lately. He says, hope you guys are doing well. I know you're busy grinding and I appreciate it. Those emails come fast and furious. The SM reputation management strategy where you bump my other subscriptions out of my box appears to be working. That's awesome. That's the first time we've heard that one. All right, LeadGadget. What is it exactly? Versus GSite Builder. When to use either and which gets better results, ROI relative to cost. Well, there's, you know, this is a similar question I think we had last week. LeadGadget is a mass page generator. GSite Builder is not. GSite Builder is, I mean, you can use it in a much lesser scale and create a bunch of pages or sites targeting various keywords, but it's not scalable like LeadGadget would be. So in other words, LeadGadget can go out and create a WordPress site that, you know, has 30,000 posts on it, or pages and posts basically, in a matter of you know, 2 minutes. You know, it takes time to set the site up and all that, but it deploys a site really quickly, builds a site with tens of thousands of pages and posts in a matter of minutes. So you can blanket, like, you know, you can target all the towns and neighborhoods and all that kind of shit within a geographic area, and append all of your keywords to those local modifiers and just blanket for all these long tail terms. That's what LeadGadget is, right? It's a mass page generator. There's several of them out there. LeadGadget is like an industrial version of one. It's got a high, you know, it's got expense involved because of its industrial strength, right? Because of its you know, its size and everything else and what it does. It can be expensive, guys. It's like, you know, $250 a month for LeadGadget, and you have to have the servers. And, you know, the idea with the servers is get a dedicated server and you just start slamming sites on these servers, right? Building more and more sites. GSite Builder is something that can create pages, but on a much smaller scale, right? So you can target, you know, say 100 keywords or something like that. And that's what you're going to get, not 30,000 though, right? And so personally, I use the GSite Builder for building link networks. I don't use the GSite Builder to try to rank the GSite pages or posts. I guess you can try to do that. That's not what I use it for, though. I use it specifically just to create link networks, especially to link to other Google properties, like my Google site from a Drive Stack, which is would be my primary Google site. All the GSite Builder sites are used as like linking, you know, backlink properties. Okay. Or you can use it to link up to your Google Maps. You can use it to link to your money site if you want, or drive folders, or whatever you want. That's typically how we use it, though. So as far as ROI relative to cost, it depends. LeadGadget, you can make a lot of money if you are building sites. It's a spam method. In other words, you create a shit ton of sites. And the idea is that if any sites get deleted or smacked or de-indexed or whatever, you just build more, right? I had somebody approach me in private message in Facebook the other day asking me about, because they apparently jumped on LeadGadget, and they said, you know, I brought up backlinking to a LeadGadget site, and like it was, everybody in the group was screaming blasphemy, you know, like, and they jumped down my throat about it. Don't build links. Don't build links. He says, well, I want to build links anyways. Why are they like this? And what type of links should I build? And I replied, they're like that because it's silly to build links to those sites when they're, you know, they're churn and burn style sites. Some of those sites might last for months, guys, or even years, but I always expect them to be, you know, slapped, de-indexed at any time. And so why build links to those sites when you can just build more sites, right? If you go after a set of keywords, why not build 50 or 100 WordPress sites, all targeting the same keywords, just on different domains? Some are going to win. I mean, some are going to rank, some aren't. Who cares? Just build more sites. You don't need to backlink that stuff, right? So as far as the actual, you know, if you're, Nigel, if you're on your own, if you're not running an agency, I wouldn't recommend LeadGadget. I would recommend sticking with GSite Builder, unless you know what you're doing with LeadGadget, in which case, yeah, use it. But if you're running an agency, LeadGadget is a more powerful tool for spamming and driving traffic. GSite Builder I would still use as a link building tool. Anyways, good question. Appreciate the question. He says, what is the fastest way to monetize when you have new assets with limited traffic? And how can it be done cost effectively in conjunction with the initial digital asset break-in seasoning period? I'm not sure what you mean. Like, are you doing affiliate? Are you doing local or what? Like for local, when you have limited traffic, how can you monetize? Well, with lead gen, if you got limited traffic, but you're still providing leads or producing leads, you sell the leads, right? If it's a digital asset that you own that you want to like do a rank and rent, then you can lease it out. Even if it's limited at the beginning, right? You can actually lease it out, you know, as you're trying to get it ranked. If you can at least produce some leads with it, that's something else you can do. If it's an affiliate site, I'm not sure. Maybe start using it to build an email list. If you have limited traffic, I'm not sure. You got to get your traffic up, really. You guys have any ideas for that? Any good suggestions for that one?
I'm trying to think, because other than what you suggested, Bradley, I monetize when the new asset with limited traffic. I guess like you can definitely start building a list, you know, right off the bat. I always recommend that. I mean, when you have, because the main point of these websites is to catch as many long tails as possible, right? And then funnel them to a funnel or to an offer rather. So I'm trying to think, maybe I haven't done much with LeadGadget, but what I almost always suggest is that you can start building a list right off the bat, and this can be done with, you know, PDFs or whatever on the sidebars, or even
I don't think that this question specifically has to do with the first question. I think this was just, he's talking about having a digital asset that has limited traffic that's not monetized. Oh. How can he monetize it?
Right. Well, in any case,
if you have limited traffic, it's going to be difficult to monetize because that's where the monetization comes from, right?
Yeah. For the most part, unless you have or you find a high ticket offer for that traffic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In any case, if the for some reason I thought that the two were together, but if you have a low amount of traffic, yeah, that's gonna be hard. Unless you find a high ticket offer for that traffic. In any case, you will need a, you know, kind of a funnel to build it, you know, to sell it actually. So
yeah, I mean, it's difficult to monetize a site that doesn't have much traffic unless it's super targeted traffic and you have a super targeted offer. You know?
Right.
So
right.
He says, I'm looking for insight beyond where to start of the Battleplan. By the way, great stuff. I need a low dollar entry point that provides an expedited 1 in a row win. Is it $5 Facebook ad, YouTube video, and affiliate offer, for example? I'm not sure. I'm not really following that question. Nigel, I apologize. He says, what would you do? A brief real life 3-figure example would go a long way. I'm not sure. Are you talking about spending $5 a day on Facebook ads, YouTube videos? I'm not sure I understand the question.
Like he's got new assets, right? It hasn't been around for a while. He's built stuff. So what would be the low dollar entry point to start winning with?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe to drive traffic to that asset. Maybe that's what he's asking about.
Yeah, kind of a $5 Facebook ad or YouTube video campaign, $5 a day. Would give him some results. So at the end of the day, it's always the same, Nigel. You either have money to spend or you work hard to get the organic side of things growing, right? You need to have a balance. Like you can have, like, if you have a lot of money right off the bat, you can buy a lot of data out of Facebook or YouTube, right? Or Google AdWords with paid traffic. If you don't have a lot of money, the organic / free, quote unquote, because there's no such thing as free traffic, but you have to put the time to build that, right? Yeah. So you either have time or you have money, right? Which are kind of the same thing. But the main point here is that it still remains. I would definitely, for $5 a day on Facebook ads, I will try to build a list, because when you have a list, you can sell them CPA offers, you can sell them, you know, your own products, you can sell placements on your newsletter for other companies, etc., etc. At the end of the day, it's going to take you longer. It's not like you can magically make money. It's not like it was like, I don't know, 10 years ago. It's not that anymore. Like you either put the time and a little bit of money, or you put a lot of money and a little bit of time, or both, you know? So it's up to you how long and how long and hard you wanna work. If you're building, for example, blog and you're trying to rank on Google, it's gonna take time, right? It's gonna take time to get those results and to get that traffic going. In the meantime, $5 a day can accelerate your results. So I wouldn't say do one thing or the other. Instead of either or, do both, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, Hernan said that he would spend $5 a day on Facebook traffic, and I would spend $5 a day on YouTube traffic. So there. So what I'm saying is pick whatever works for you. Like me, I don't want to run Facebook ads. I know it works, but I just don't want to do it. So I would run YouTube ads. But either way, just figure out something that's going to generate some traffic. And $5 a day to generate traffic, if your targeting is right, can produce some really good traffic. So
yep, I agree.
Okay, James says, I always get so much out of these. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you, James. Appreciate that. He says, when it comes to internal link building within curated posts, should I stick to only one internal link per post? There are times the content just begs for additional links to other pages. Is this causing issues if I have 2 to 3 internal links? No, not at all, James. Absolutely. Especially, okay, so here's the thing. First of all, don't not link to other content that makes sense to link to. Like if it's relevant, it's on your site, and it's useful to the reader, then why not? Why not link to it? Here's the thing. If it's within the same category, so essentially the same silo, so like if you're trying to link to 2 or 3 other posts or pages in the same silo, then yeah, link to as many as you want, because it's fine. And you don't have to worry about like no follow or follow links or anything like that. It's all internal. Leave it the way that it is, right? Just link to them if it's all within the same category. If it's outside of the category, which sometimes it makes sense, like if you're mentioning something that's in another silo, another category on the site that you have content about, you know, published about that particular topic or subject or whatever, then yeah, you should link to it. Just no follow the link. You know what I mean? The reason why you do that is to keep the silo theme very, very tight. If you start linking from one silo to another with do follow links, then you start to bleed the theme, and it kind of ambiguates that entire silo, like the keyword theme of that category, of that content stack, right? And so what you want to do is try to keep any do follow links within the same category, the same stack, okay? Other than that, you know, yeah, absolutely. Because guys, remember, the way I look at it is even a no follow link. Remember, no follow link, Google still crawls the destination, right? Whatever it links to, Google's still going to go crawl that other page. They're just not going to pass page rank through that link. So who cares if you have a link to another page on your site that's relevant to, it's relevant content that you're linking to from the article or post or page or whatever that you're linking out of to that other piece of content. If it's relevant, it reinforces the overall theme of whatever your content was about to begin with. And even if it's in another category, just no follow it, because Google's still going to read the page that it links to, and it's going to make the association between those two topics. It's just not going to pass page rank. Right? So again, guys, internal links are incredibly important. Follow or no follow, it doesn't matter, because it's just a way to reinforce your overall theme and relevancy of whatever it is that you're trying to tell Google your content's about. Okay, and also from a user standpoint, right? The visitor standpoint, a human standpoint, it makes sense to do so. So you want to do that as well. And so don't worry about the 2 to 3 internal links. Don't worry about it, guys. I mean, just think about it. You know, you want to interlink from within your site as much as possible, you know, without going in excess. But as long as it's not, it makes sense, it's logical, do it. Do you use near me keywords in your curated content and link to the money pages? If so, what's your strategy for making it sound natural? No, I don't. I don't do any near me SEO, unfortunately. It's just something I haven't played with. I do the near me stuff with AdWords because it's just so easy. But I don't do any near me targeting. Like I don't target near me keywords via SEO. I know it can be done. It's just not something I've done. Does anybody else have any experience with that?
Yeah. Question and answer format. You ask the question, I don't know, whatever product or service near me. And then in the answer, you use close by and nearby, which Google directly relates to near me. And now you've given the bot everything that it's looking for as far as the near me term.
There you go.
Is concerned.
That's a great, that's great advice. Great suggestion. Okay. Next, good questions, James. Harold says, what are the best practices for link building with my network and extended products. Example, citations and press releases. What is the best to build links to and how much and how often? Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple answers here, Harold. Great question, by the way. Citations, absolutely. What I'd try to do is find out the best citations, the most powerful according to Google. The best way to do that is go search for the company name plus the phone number or any 2 data points from the NAP. You can search company name and address, company name and phone number, address and phone number, whatever. I usually just use company name and phone number. And then just go do a Google search, company name, phone number. And then look at the top 2 pages. Go extract all of the citations or all the properties, period, the Google's listing for your brand plus the phone number for on the top 2 pages. So the top 20 results, right? You want to grab all the citations and directory sites or whatever they're listed, because that's what Google determines are the most important for your brand, right? At least for that search type, which would be, in my case, what I just mentioned was brand name and phone number. So I use those. Those are great to start hitting those with links. Remember, pay attention to the ones that have do follow links. Like, so once you've extracted the top 2 page results, go, just manually go through them unless you know already which ones have do follow links, which ones have no follow links, and just be mindful of that. Because if you have do follow links from a site and you hit it with a shit ton of kitchen sink spam and you're over optimized anchor text, it can cause problems. So you just want to be careful with that. And so typically what I do, just so you guys know, is I bunch all of them together, whether they're no follow links, do follow links, don't care. I put them all in the same link spam campaign, and I just make sure that, and I don't even do it. I have my link builder do it, Dedia. I just send it to him and say, here's all the things. And he knows to set up the links and the anchor text in such a way that it's not going to matter whether they're do follow or no follow. It makes no difference, right? It's not going to be harmful. Okay. But I would recommend citations over press releases unless you know which press release sites specifically you're going to be targeting that don't get purged, right? And I've talked about this many, many times, guys. We got a press release course coming out next month, in February, I mean. We're going to be doing the press release course then, guys, and we're going to go into that in much greater detail. But there are a lot of sites that purge press releases. They delete them, right? They scrub them from their sites after a period of time, and it varies. Some last as much as 180 days, some 30 days, right? And then what's interesting is even some sites will, some press releases will last 3 months, and then the same site with a different press release in 30 days, it's deleted. So it's hit or miss. So what I recommend is that if you're going to be link building the press releases, is that you identify press releases that are going to stick around for a while or that don't ever get deleted, and use those as target URLs instead of, here's the problem. If you go build a shit ton of links to a press release that in 4 months is going to be deleted from their site, didn't you just waste all that time and effort and perhaps money on building links to a press release that no longer exists? So don't do that, right? Citations are typically going to stick. Press releases, some will, but you got to identify which ones will, and then use those as link targets. Okay. One of the best things you can do, guys, is if you're using a press release distribution service that gives you a company or organization page, is use that, right? Because that's typically going to list all the press releases that have been published for that particular organization. And it's usually a page that's going to exist indefinitely, so that you can just hammer that with links over and over again. And every time you publish a new press release, the new press release will benefit from it because it's listed on that page, if that makes sense. Okay. What is the best build links and how much and how often? With citations and press releases, both, you can be really aggressive. I mean, super aggressive.
Any Google property.
Yep. And any Google property. That's right. So, yeah, guys, I don't worry about any sort of link velocity issues for citations and or press releases. Just hammer them, right? Whatever, until your heart's content. Scott says, is it effective to build quality links directly to GMB for local search rankings? I do, Scott. I'm currently using citations and press releases. I do it all the time. I build links directly to the local, the Google My Business share URL all the time. Okay. So as far as I know, it's effective because it's one of the things that I do, and I tend to do very well at ranking Google Maps. So Vitali says, hello, was trying to rank a GSite for the medium level competitive keyword. The site is 2 months old. At first, it got high in rankings. Second page, I added around 15 links to the whole silo. Got to the first page, added a few more links to the page I was trying to rank. Then it dropped to the 4th page and later to the 6th page. Has not moved after weeks. Is it possible that it triggered some algorithm No manual actions. Yeah, it is very possible. Remember, guys, most inbound link penalties are like filter type penalties. They're not going to produce a manual spam action like a message in Search Console. Most of those are they're algorithmic filters, right? They're algorithmic penalties, which means you're not going to get a notification. And what I mean but those are mostly link type things, guys, which are considered like penguin stuff. But yeah, if it happened, that's what I would. It sounds like you may have been, but it's a Google site, so it doesn't seem like it's a velocity issue. Marco, what would your comment be on this? Because
I'd build a drive stack. I frame the properties like we teach in RYS Reloaded, and that's internal, right? It's both internal and external, because then you can send it anywhere you want. But you would add all of that relevance, that keyword relevance. You could target whatever page is sticking now at 4th to 6th page in the SERPs. I would just add I don't know if he did a drive stack, but this is totally looking for a drive stack for more relevance, and then that will go ahead and take care of any over optimization issues or heavy anchor text use, because you're just adding so much inside the drive stack, so much relevance.
Yeah. Okay, cool. It says possible course of action besides what Marco just mentioned, Vitaly. If you say just wait. Personally, with Google Sites, guys, I've experienced the whole like big dancing issue multiple times, and I've just been patient. I've learned to just be patient with GSites, because a lot of the times they do some really weird, like they'll bounce in and out of the index entirely, and then they'll do some really wild swings in their positioning as well. And then after time, they just boom, they just come and they rank well and they stick at that point. So I've seen that, I've experienced that a lot. Now, sometimes they don't ever rank well, period. Like I've experienced that too, but I've had more often that when I see a lot of wild dancing like that it's just a matter of time until they come back. That said, build more links to diversify anchor profile. Yes, you can do that. I would do that over option number 3 any day of the week. And I would also do what Marco said, because you can use drive stacks to diversify anchors as well. But to change anchor text, no, don't do that, because Google's already indexed those pages that your links are sitting on. If you go in and start swapping the anchor text from those links, Google recrawls that page and checks it against its cached version, and it knows that you're in there modifying anchor text. Who does that kind of stuff? SEOs do. Google knows that, right? Normal webmasters don't do that. SEOs do that. So changing the anchor text is a clear indication that you're an SEO trying to manipulate search rankings. So I don't ever do that, okay? Well, I don't say I don't ever do it, but I do that very sparingly. I would rather dilute the anchor text, the inbound anchor text profile with additional links. They call that pillowing, right? And you can do that with press releases, by the way. It's a great way to do it. Drop the links. Now, I don't think I would drop the links yet, because again, that's another signal to Google that you're an SEO, right? The best thing you can do is just dilute it. Move pages to another location and start over. That would be my last resort. I'd still be a little bit more patient first.
We saw this exact behavior during our 1 million link test, where we hammered a GSite drive stack with 1 million garbage backlinks, and this was the exact behavior. It moved up, and then it dropped to whatever. Sometimes couldn't even be found. You know, you'd get that NA in the rank tracker. And then it came back and it just started ranking in maps and organically for everything.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you just, as Bradley said, you just have to be patient. When it went to the first page and you hit it, you could have triggered the Google Dance algorithm, right? So now you just have to be patient and see when it decides to move back, if at all. If, you know, within, I don't know, I'd give it 30 days. If it doesn't come back, do what Rob does. Just keep hammering it. Rob gets Fiverr gigs to his stuff. I mean, this is how much you can clean up spam. But then we do both, right? We both had the drive stack and the GSite before we hammered it, so that you did have all of that relevance going back and forth to the GSite and to the drive stack. And so that may be what you're missing in this equation. I don't know, since this doesn't explain it, but I think you may be missing the drive stack so that the iframes pull the links into the drive stack and clean them up before they head back out.
Yeah. Good advice. Thank you. SJ has got a good question here. He says, on your site, the bonus site, guys, you have the course called RVR Pro Case Study Bonus. I'm thinking of buying it. You still use the software? If so, still getting good results? Yeah, I use it occasionally, but and yeah, it's a good tool, guys. Understand that it is a spam tool. Okay, it's very similar to what I was mentioning with like LeadGadget in that you can use it to create 30 videos like all at once, right? So essentially RVR, Rocket Video Ranker Pro, it's a couple of apps. They're online web apps that you can use to take a video that you have and spin it, so it creates a whole bunch of different versions of it. And then you upload all at once up to 30 videos. You can do more than that, but I know because I've tried it, but really 30 is supposed to be the magic number according to Bill, who's the developer. And so you basically upload, the app will upload 30 videos. It's the same video, but it's been spun, so the file looks slightly different, right? And it uploads 30 all at once in all unlisted, right? So they're all unlisted videos, and it uploads all 30 of them. And then there's something about the algorithm that has been, at least it has been working when you go in and you turn them all public all at once, from unlisted to public. And for whatever reason, they tend to rank really, really well when you do that. And also especially if you use like the YouTube silo method and you include, which is included in the bonus site, so you'll have access to that training. But yeah, if you use YouTube silo, then you create the playlist, you interlink everything, all that kind of stuff. It's super powerful. But what I've experienced, and I'm going to be 100% transparent about this, guys, is what I've experienced with some of these channels is do not use an established channel for this, guys. Use a brand new channel that you buy. If you want to get phone verified accounts, all that, that's great. You can do that, but use brand new channels. Don't tie in a bunch of syndication networks to these channels and all that kind of stuff, because they rank well without all that stuff. Just like what I was mentioning with the mass page generators. And we were talking about LeadGadget earlier. There's no reason to go in and start backlinking all this stuff, because they may rank really well for a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months. But eventually what I found is a fair amount of the channels that I've used this on, eventually all of a sudden, all the videos just like completely drop out of the index. And it's crazy because the channels don't get terminated, but the videos just won't index. So like if I go into a channel, and so just understand it's a churn and burn strategy, guys. It's a temporary thing. So what I like to do with it is I'll use it on a prospecting side of things. In fact, I'll go and upload a video and, use, target like 30 keywords. If it's local, I'll target like 30 local areas and neighborhoods and things like that. And I'll upload the video. I'll turn them all public. Boom. They'll rank really well. And then I'll approach a particular client, or if like I'm making a proposal or a pitch to a prospect, I'll do that because it only takes a matter of minutes to set it up. And then I'll go turn them all public. I'll enter all the URLs into Pro Rank Tracker. And then I'll give it about 15, 20 minutes or whatever. I'll go back, I'll refresh Pro Rank Tracker, and it'll show a handful of those 30 will have ranked, right? And now these are live videos, not just like with Live Rank Sniper, which I use a lot too, which is just like a placeholder because it's a scheduled live event. These are actual videos. So then I can take the ones that rank and put those into the proposal or the pitch that I'm making to a potential prospect and say, hey, look, I just did this in the last 24 hours to show you that I know what I'm doing. And it's a tool that I've used to impress a prospect, because I can show them results that are tangible. They can see right now with their very own eyes and click on the video and see the video and all that kind of stuff. And then it helps me to close a sale. Then once I close a sale, then I go do the more traditional route of video marketing and ranking, videos and doing other, digital assets and that kind of stuff. We're almost out of time, damn it. So anyways, just keep that in mind. It is what I recommend doing with it, guys, is using it as instructed, right? So using it to test for keywords and be able to get quick wins. And then once you've identified those ones that were able to rank and stick for, a few days, a couple weeks, whatever, now you can go actually target those with money channels, not spam channels, but money channels that have syndication networks and all the traditional stuff that we do to produce long-term assets, right? So you use this as like a discovery tool, and then you go and target the ones that I've identified as being easy wins with more traditional stuff. And that's pretty much how any poking tool works. All right. You mentioned there's a service that you build when you like a video from a channel that gets video distributed to something like 320 sites. Can you share that with me? Yeah, it's called Syndication Academy. That's how we do it, right? So we have a training product that teaches you how to build your own networks. If you're curious on how to do that, that's called Syndication Academy. You can just go do a search for it in Google. If you want to buy networks done for you, built by us to our specifications, you can do that via SerpSpace, serpspace.com. And either way, you can do it on your own or you can buy them from us. I don't care. If you've got time but no money, then you're going to want to build them yourself. If you've got money and no time, you're going to want to buy them. We got 5 more minutes, guys. Let's see. We're going to try to run through a few. Hey, Walt. How you doing, buddy? Mastermind is just a little bit awesome. Thanks, Damon. That's awesome, Damon. Damon's been with us for a very long time. Are we out of questions?
I think we're out of questions, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Walt, I did mean animated GIF. I didn't realize there was a difference between a GIF and an animated GIF, but I'm assuming you're right. I'm pretty sure everybody got what I was hinting at. But thank you. Add scarcity to your offer. Tell them that you have 2 more days of availability to talk to them. That's a good one, Walt. Yeah, and that's something I forgot to mention. You know, you can do that. Typically, the scarcity or availability, adding scarcity to an offer for me works better on the pitch side of things. Like, in other words, if I after I've had the conversation with a prospect and I make a proposal offer, right? I make them an offer. Then that's when I put a time limit on the offer. Because if I'm getting them, if they're wishy-washy, right? They're sitting on the fence, they're stalling to instead of making a decision, then they're going to be a pain in the ass anyways. And like, honestly, a lot of the times if a business owner can't make a decision, then a lot of times they're like that, right? Like they're just they're one of those types of people, right? And so a lot of times I'll put a scarcity on it, then say, look, this offer is only good for a couple of days. I've got other offers out there, and then make them, it's like shit or get off the pot, so to speak. Sorry to be rude again, but that's what it is. All right, guys, we got 3 more minutes. See. Google puts you on page 4 to test you. Yeah, if you react, well, it's exactly right. This is what I was talking about earlier. That's why, by the way, Itali, I think it was asking that question, or Vitali, I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't want to go in and change anchors and things like that, because as Walt is explaining right here, and he's absolutely correct, is if you react like an SEO, then they pretty much know what you're doing, right? So like, we talk about being in a sandbox or on a probationary period, especially with newer sites. I don't usually worry about it so much with Google sites, but like with brand new websites on your own domain, if you go in, like usually they rank really well at first, and then they go like they slide back, right? They drop, and then there's like about a 90-day period where they're kind of on probation, and you can do some things to help them to rank. But if they do the Google dance and you're in there swapping stuff out all the time, then it will flag the site as a, you as an SEO, or the site is being manipulated, right? And then it could permanently sandbox the site. And so that's something you want to be very careful of. Okay. Great. We got to all the questions. I was concerned we weren't going to do it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks, guys, for sticking around. Mastermind members, be over in the Mastermind live webinar area in the next 5 minutes. We're going to start up the Q&A section. Okay.
Awesome. Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.